Hello, I'm Dr. Rosie Kuhn. I've had a cold for the last couple of weeks and I'm just getting over it. So if you hear a little congestion, that's what that's about. Welcome to this series, I Want to Be a Better Coach. Each episode is focusing on those elements of ourselves as coaches and as people, and perhaps as people who are getting coached, and anyone who's supporting and empowering other people in the world. You might be a hair salon person or a makeup person or a barkeeper or dentist or nurse, all these ministers, all of us have this a relationship with people where we are listening and perhaps supporting and empowering others to have a great life. And so I'm talking about those parts of ourselves as coaches, it includes all those people, that we have an opportunity to actually grow ourselves in different ways, and ways that grow us personally, which grows our capacity to sit with and be with and listen to others in a different way, in a way that's more empowering for them, more enriching, more harmony, more union, more connection and engagement. And all of that really impacts on your clients and on you. So today I want to talk about this place that's really difficult to coach to, and that's why it's part of I Want to Be a Better Coach. It's coaching to the I don't know. So your clients all come to you, each one of them comes to you, or whoever you're listening to, they have a want, they have a heart's desire. They may start with, I have a problem, because as a therapist, you might hear, I have a problem. But there's a want. If you, I have this problem, and if you say, well, what is it you want? They'll say, here's what I want. Or if this problem wasn't here, here's what I'd have. So everybody has a want. And that's in a sense what most coaches coach to, is the commitment to that want. On the other hand, at the same time, on the other hand, there's a conflicting commitment. I want this, but I don't want the change. Or I want this, but I don't feel safe making that change. I want this, but I don't want the uncertainty of what might show up. And so on the one hand, we have this commitment to having what we have, or having what we want, and at the same time, we have this conflicting commitment to not having it be different, if you will. And I've talked about this in other videos as well. So quite often, as people are progressing through towards the here's what I want, and perhaps getting closer to that, perhaps, and sometimes we're in a honeymoon phase, like, wow, this is so easy, so fun, so great. But we get to a point where there's like resistance, or nothing's happening, or there's a point of I don't know what to choose, or I don't want to choose, or I don't know how to be in this choice. I don't know how to be me moving forward. And this is what stops every single one of us from being our fullest complete potentiality, because we don't know how to do that. We've never been trained to be in the potentiality of ourselves. We've all been trained to be in fear and to not trust ourselves. Self-trust is foundational to growing our capacity to be the fullest potential, to be the fullest that we want to be. We see a lot of, in the world right now, we see a lot of fear and people going, I don't know, I'm overwhelmed. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to be me in this state of chaos in the world. And the truth is every single one of us has been capable of being aligned and clear and true in ourselves, even in the states of chaos. Last time I talked about the fires in LA, and total chaos for so many people. But what happens is people align and they get connected to their true self and they move forward. So for us as coaches to be able to coach to these life processes of, I don't know how to do me, I don't know what to do, I don't know how to go forward here, then we get to really sit in the place where true transformation can happen. And I've heard this before, that in the decision, not in the decision, in that place of choice, to, in a sense, to allow the decision to form itself, then this is where true potential takes place. This is where true potential and transformation takes place. But what most of us do is, as coaches, is we're uncomfortable sitting in the I don't know with our clients. And so when we get uncomfortable, when we get into restless, irritable discontent, we want to focus and direct the conversation in a different place, in a different way that supports our need for comfort, but will not support your client in moving through the challenges of their life. Many years ago, and this was a learning opportunity for me, a client of mine said, "Hey, I'm thinking about doing a master's program, and I don't know if I should do it or not." And I asked the question, how do you make a choice? How do you make a choice? And that to me was the foundational question that shifted my coaching from results oriented to more process oriented. Like, how are you choosing to choose? You've heard me say this before. How are you choosing to choose what you choose? And when I asked my client this, how do you make choices? She goes, well, fear, basically. Will I have what I need if I do this? Will this cost too much money? It's fear-based. Who will I be if I don't have this graduate degree? And it's fear-based. And it was just asking the question, what's showing up right now? How do you make a choice? And she said, fear. I have an idea that I might want to do this, but basically it's a fear-based, reasoning here. I'll make more money. I'll have more accountability, credibility if I have this. All is the lack-based versus something else. Lack-based, fear-based. So every single one of my clients, and I'm sure every single one of your clients, and I'm sure you, because every single human being I've ever connected with, have these places where we go into fear to make a choice. And when we want something, we want transformation, we want our life to be full of wealth and prosperity and love, we have to move through things that challenge our sense of ourselves. Can I trust myself that I'm going to be okay moving forward, or do I need to be afraid that I can't trust myself? And this is the conversation I have with myself personally. It's the conversation I have with my clients about them, but also in this place as a coach to go, am I safe having this conversation, being with my client where they're at in this place of I don't know what to decide, I don't know what to choose, I don't know how to be. And this is a moment of, number one, there's nothing to do, there's nothing wrong. There's an opportunity here to help a person look at how do you choose and how do you want to choose. Most people will not want to choose from fear. We do not want to choose from fear. We want to choose from inspiration and love and connection and engagement and heart's desire. And we see the world around us and we look at it and we get afraid and I'm afraid I don't know what to do here. We limit our capacity to choose. And we just kind of, in a sense, get paralyzed. So anytime an individual is making a choice or faced with a choice, my clients are paying me a lot of money to have them be where they want to be. If I don't give them an opportunity to really look at how are you choosing here and really be with the question, look, how are you choosing here? Then they don't have an opportunity to really look at themselves and say, wow, look at how much of me is afraid. And look at how I keep choosing the same thing over and over again. This is what our addictions are. We keep choosing over and over again in the state when we're in that restless, irritable discontent. We choose the old patterns, we choose our old patterning. And it's not, at some point it's about, and I just recorded this, and so I'm re-recording this, so hopefully I'm not changing or repeating myself here. But Bonnie, who I was coaching with, she says she's been in a recovery program for many, many decades, and she says, I'm praying to God now. I'm praying to Him, I'm praying to my higher power to take these obstacles off my plate. I want those gone. So why isn't God helping me here? And what we know is we have free will. It's a spiritual principle. God and angels and support, however you want to see see that reality, we are constantly supported. And if we say, I'm here, take this, they'll take it. But if we go, please take this, but don't take it, then they're not going to take it because we have free will. So for Bonnie, she's saying, and as a coach, what I'm asking you to do is ask those questions that you're curious about. Like, okay, if I know in my knowing we're always supported, and that my free will, if I say no, I'm attached to that, I know it's not going to move forward. A slogan is, what we resist persists. And so being curious enough to have a conversation to go, Bonnie, what is this for you? And she's able to say, well, I am attached to my judgments. I'm attached to my my being righteous. I'm attached to having the right way to see it. I'm attached to that. And I don't want to let it go. And I go, great. Now you can see, because you have free will to say no, that even though you're praying for support, it's not coming because you're saying no. And we laughed about it because it's ironic, but we're all doing that. I do it too. We say, I want to be on a diet. I really want to lose this weight. And we get guidance to not eat something, but we eat it anyway. And that's what we do, because we do it until we get to a point where you go, no, I'm not going to eat that. Or we listen and we're saying, hey, I need more health in my life. And so you get a thought, hey, go outside and breathe for 10 minutes. And you go, yeah, no, not going to do that. It's like, okay. And we, in a sense, as coaches, are these guardians or guides and support that says, hey, here, do this. And when your clients aren't ready, they won't do it. It's like, no, don't want to. And I could, as a coach, go, okay, well, let's try something else. Or I can go, what's the no about? What's that about for you? Like, not as a judgment, but as a curiosity. Like, what's really happening in there with that no? You're saying you want support and you're asking for guidance, and the guidance, or you go on YouTube and it says, hey, go outside for 10 minutes a day. And you go, I can do that. And then it's like you get the impulse to go outside for 10 minutes and you go, no. It's just a wonderful thing to see. There's no wrong or bad. It's just a wonderful thing to see how we operate, most of us, 99% of the time. And when we can see it, we can then appreciate it. And if we can appreciate it, we give it respect and go, you totally get it. Now, none of these thoughts and none of these ways of being in our reality are because we're insane and sick and crazy. It's not like that. When I hear Bonnie talk about herself, she'll say, and so a truth is, and when I learned this in therapy, is people who grow up in dysfunctional families aren't allowed to know what they want, need, think, or feel. So everybody's on the spectrum of dysfunctional families, and where you're not allowed, or a person isn't allowed to know what they think, feel, need, or want, they can feel kind of insane in that. And Bonnie will say, I hate when people ask me what I want. It drives me insane. And then she's like, I want to poke my eyeballs out, when people ask. And it's like, okay, let's look at this. The inner child, that part of her that grew up in a family that was dysfunctional enough, she wasn't even allowed to know what she wanted. So if she did know what she wanted, it wasn't going to happen. So she learned to turn that off. So she doesn't know what she wants. And so when, in a sense, when her husband is taking a nap and she goes, oh, what am I going to do? What do I want? It's like, don't ask me that question, because it connects her to a time in her childhood where she didn't know what she wanted. And so rather than saying, I want to beat myself up for that, or as a coach saying, well, let's get over that. Let's get through that. We go, wow, I totally get it. Growing up in families, quite often we're taught to not know what we want, think, feel, or need. It's a matter of fact. And so let's just honor that rather than, hey, let's move on. Let's get over it. It's like it doesn't work that way. So coming back to the point of this conversation today, it's that coaching to the I don't know is quite often part of the huge conversation of a person being in the process of themselves unfolding. And so as a coach, if I can listen to from in that place of what's going on for you, then and how are you choosing right now? It's like, I want to choose to be the supreme power of the universe. And we can laugh about that. But that's the point. That's like, this is where I'm at right now. And I don't want to give it up. Excellent. Good to know. Thank you. And again, in terms of not being able to know what think, feel, need, or want, if my client says, I don't want to give that up, that's a hallelujah for me, because they're saying something that's very true for them. That's a declaration of truth for them. And none of us can grow into our full potentiality until we can acknowledge our truth. Even if it sounds like, oh, that's getting in your way, you can say that. But the truth is until we declare it and know it to be true, then we can start talking to it and why it's there in the first place. Every element of an individual's human experience and what they're bringing to a session is required so they can work through it. And so you as a coach can work through it with them. So, part of this, as I was saying, is the world is also in these states of uncertainty. And how do I, as a human being, be present in this? And so many people are overwhelmed because, again, we don't know how to think, feel, need, or want. We're told the world is a terrible place. If you turn the radio off, for 90% of us in the world, if you turn the radio off, turn off the screens, and you look outside, you'll see it's a very beautiful place. It's a wonderful place. It's a magical place. It's a place full of love and kindness. And then we go, well, I don't know what to believe. Do I believe what's on the news, or do I believe what's in front of me? And again, as a coach, a life coach, this is a process that each and every individual is going through right now. What is the truth? Is it what's outside my window? Is it what's on the news? Is it what's in Israel? What's the truth? And how do I be present to it? These are the questions that are going to be coming up for the coaches of the now and the future, where we're speaking to this more, I'll say, because we exist as an existential. These are the existential questions that are foundational to a person moving forward in their life, in the full potentiality. So how to coach the I don't know is the same as, coaching to every individual who is stepping into a relationship with what's showing up on our planet right now. And we can choose to see it as a horrible, terrible thing, or we can see it as an amazing awakening that's occurring. And how do we bridge the both and? How do we bridge that? As a coach, we need to know that. That's the foundation of these I want to be a better coach is we need to be able to have an ability to say, wow, I totally get it. You look out the window, you guys can look out my window here. I live on the side of a mountain in the not wilderness, but in rural area. It's beautiful. It's peaceful. This is my reality. And it's not until I turn the radio on or the TV on that I go, oh, wow, things are happening out there. And how do I choose to be present to that? And that's the question you're asking your clients. How do you choose to be with this? Either the uncertainty of the world, the uncertainty of how you want your kitchen to look, the uncertainty of what to do if your husband's taking a nap, the uncertainty of letting go of an addictive patterning. How do you choose to be with this? How do you be with it? Like I asked this client many years ago, how do you choose? And that conversation, it keeps unfolding into something bigger and more wondrous and more potential. If your conversations with your clients keep contracting them and you, it's probably not going to be real helpful in the long run. You might feel safe and secure and stable, and they may come back, But is that the point of the work that you're doing as a coach? I don't know. That's your choice. What you're up to. Um, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I have five on my little thumbnail. It's got a few things, but we're basically talking to this process. There's a word that I love, and when I heard it first few times, the word is discernment. I heard it in terms of it being a Christian process, a process that Christians go through, and it's like, wow, it's way more than that. In a sense, it's part of the ability to discern our truth and wisdom from what our perceived belief system is. Again, I look out the window and you can look out the window and you see peace and beauty, generally speaking. Or you know people to be kind and caring. And we can be angry and feel victimized and martyred by those people over there. But the truth, what is the truth? The truth is for me, I'm saying, and generally, people are kind and caring and compassionate, generally speaking. And if I live in the truth of that, then I have a different outcome than if I live in they're going to hurt me, there are bad people out there, the world is going to hell in a handbasket. But the discernment is the process is like, wait a second, what's really true here? What's really true here? Or how do I be in the I don't know? How do I be? Most people cannot answer the question. Most people, when they're in the I don't know, they'll choose something just so they don't have to be in the I don't know. And that's probably not helpful over a long period of time, because generally what we choose is what we've been choosing in the past. So that place of I don't know is so rich for coaches, because this is where people either choose to go back to their old pattern or open to the potentiality of what's possible and to experiment and be curious about that. This is so, so important to you as a coach, to help people be in this I don't know so that they can really pay attention to how they choose to choose what they choose. Just saying. I have a lot of books. I don't know if you know that. I have a website, theparadigmshifts.com, and you can see the books there. You can see blogs there. I've got over 300 videos here on YouTube that are available. There's a course on YouTube called Inward Bound Bootcamp for Self-Transformation, and that really could be beneficial for you as a coach. I've had a lot of people say as a coach it really gives them some grounding into this kind of transformational work. And it's just a couple of things. If you're interested in participating in my a group of coaches that we talk about what's going on, let me know. Just email me. My email is down below. If you have questions, please leave a comment. You can comment if this is valuable to you. Leave thumbs up. Share it with other coaches or therapists or ministers or beauticians or anybody you know that you might, parents could, maybe this is all helpful to parents as well. So please feel free to share this. All right, I think that's it for now. You are in my heart, and I support you in just being you. Thanks for being here. Bye for now.